kubita gara kubita inyaga hamwe.
A child is born in Mwenge, in what is now Toro Kingdom. His mother, Nyamutahingurwa, was a princess from the Bayonza clan, captured during a raid by Bunyoro's special forces. His father, Omukama Kamurasi, king of Bunyoro Kitara. They named him Kabalega, son of Bulega, after the place where he spent his early years. No one knew this child would become the last great warrior king of the Great Lakes region. The kingdom erupts into civil war. Kabalega is only 16 years old when he fights for the throne against his elder brother, Kabigumiri. The royal family and provincial chiefs support Kabigumiri. They see him as the rightful heir. But Kabalega has something his brother doesn't: the support of the common people, the military, and his father's bodyguards. He also has something else: absolute determination. The succession war rages for over a year. Even Kabaka Mutesa I of Buganda intervenes, supporting Kabalega against Kabigumiri. Finally, in March 1817, the 16-year-old Kabalega is crowned Omukama, king of Bunyoro Kitara. He takes the throne named Chwa II, inspired by the legendary Omukama, Chwa I. But winning the throne is just the beginning. The kingdom he inherits is fractured, weak. Provinces are breaking away. Toro has rebelled. The aristocracy, the hereditary chiefs, hold too much power. They plot, they scheme, they barely acknowledge the young king's authority. Kabalega looks around at his inheritance and makes a decision. To save Bunyoro, he must rebuild it from the ground up. He starts with violence. Rival princes who challenged him, executed. Two of his own sisters who didn't support his claim, executed. Chiefs who remained loyal to his brother, replaced with commoners, nobodies who owe everything to him. It's ruthless, it's brutal, but it works. Then Kabalega turns to the military. He looks at his father's old royal guard. They are called the Abarusura, a small palace police force. Ceremonial, maybe a few hundred men at most. Kabalega sees something no one else does. He sees the foundation of an empire. The transformation begins. Kabalega doesn't just expand the Abarusura, he revolutionizes it. He converts them from palace guards into a professional standing army under his direct control. This is radical. In the Great Lakes region, kings traditionally rely on provincial chiefs to raise armies when needed. Those chiefs control those armies. Not anymore. Kabalega's Abarusura answer only to him. He divides them into 12 regiments called the Kitongole in Runyoro. Each regiment, each Kitongole, 150,000 soldiers in total, is the largest professional army in East Africa. Each regiment is led by a general known as Engaba Yomukama, the king's right hand. These generals wear elaborate beaded collars around their necks, signifying that they represent the crown itself. But here's what makes the Abarusura truly revolutionary. Kabalega opens recruitment beyond Bunyoro. Lango fighters from the north, welcome. Choli warriors, join us. Cheso soldiers, we need you. Sudanese mercenaries fleeing collapsed regimes, you hired. Even captured enemies can join. There's a man named Ireta. He's captured during a battle against Bunyoro. Most kingdoms would enslave him or kill him. Kabalega sees potential. He frees Ireta, trains him, promotes him. Ireta becomes one of Bunyoro's greatest generals. This is Kabalega's genius. He doesn't care about your clan or your tribe. He cares about your loyalty and your ability to fight. The Abarusura becomes meritocracy in a world of hereditary privilege. And their name, Abarusura, it means those who can tear an enemy to threads. They earn that name. Kabalega stations his battalions strategically across the kingdom. Some guard the borders with Buganda to the east, others watch Busoga, others protect the heartland. They train constantly, disciplined, coordinated, ready. By the mid-1870s, Bunyoro is no longer weak. Bunyoro is dangerous.
Abarusura twagenda. Abarusura twagenda.
1872. Sir Samuel Baker arrives. He is a British explorer who had visited Bunyoro years earlier when Kabalega was still a teenager. Baker had met Kabalega's father, Kamurasi. Now Baker returns, but not as an explorer. He's the Governor General of the Guerrilla province under Khedive Ismail of Egypt. His mission? Annex Bunyoro into the Egyptian Empire. Baker marches into Masindi with Egyptian troops. He raises the Egyptian flag over a settlement in Bunyoro territory, without permission, without asking, as if Bunyoro is already his. Kabalega is now 19 years old. He's been king for only 2 years. Baker expects the young king to submit. Kabalega attacks instead. The Battle of Masindi becomes Baker's nightmare. The Abarusura, using superior knowledge of terrain and coordinated tactics, overwhelm the Egyptian forces. Baker flees Runyoro, humiliated. He writes scathing reports about Kabalega, calling him a gauche, awkward, undignified, loud, cowardly, cruel, cunning, and treacherous. The words of a man whose pride was shattered by a 19-year-old African king. Kabalega's victory over Baker does two things. First, it proves the Abarusura works. Second, it makes every European power in the region see Kabalega as a threat. The years pass. Kabalega reconquers Toro. He subdues rebellious provinces. He forces tribute from Acholi and Alur tribes across the Nile. Bunyoro grows wealthy on the ivory trade and sold from Kiwiro village on Lake Albert. By 1886, Bunyoro rivals Uganda in power. That year, Uganda decides to test Kabalega. February 1886, the Battle of Rwangabi. The Uganda army invades Bunyoro with superior numbers and more guns than the Abarusura. But the Abarusura has something Uganda doesn't: unity of command and strategic brilliance. Kabalega personally leads his forces. He carries his favorite rifle, Bagwigairibata, which can fire 17 shots without reloading. Advanced for its time. The battle is ferocious. General Rabudongo, the Abarusura commander, suggests a ceasefire at one point. The fighting is that intense. Kabalega refuses. "I don't want to sleep when the enemy is still in my country," he says. "I want the country to be mine alone. To possess this country, the enemy must kill me first." His words inspired Abarusura to fight harder. Kabalega himself engages in combat. He shoots and kills the Buganda commander, Kangaho Chibirango, with Bagwigairibata. The Baganda forces collapse. By the end of the battle, Bunyoro has captured 20,000 Baganda soldiers. 20,000. It is the heaviest defeat Uganda has ever suffered. Kabalega has achieved military parity with a kingdom that was once far more powerful. For a moment, Bunyoro stands at the peak of its power. By 1890, Bunyoro's regional influence is greater than it has been for generations. Wealth is increasing. Political unity has been won. The future looks bright. But Europe has other plans. 1890, Britain and Germany sign an agreement. Everything north of Lake Victoria goes to Britain. Bunyoro is now in Britain's sphere. 1891, Captain Frederick Lugard arrives with a new weapon, the Maxim gun. The world's first truly automatic machine gun. It can fire 600 rounds per minute. The Abarusura has never seen anything like it. May 1891, Lugard leads an expedition into Bunyoro. He's supporting Muslim fighters against Uganda, but Kabalega has allied with these Muslims, so Lugard attacks. The Abarusura advances across open ground using the tactics that defeated Baker and Uganda. Lugard sets up his Maxim gun. From 800 yards away, half a mile, he opens fire. The Abarusura warriors fall. 30 of them cut down in minutes from a distance where their spears and shields are useless. Lugard writes in his diary about the pleasure he took in picking out Kabalega's warriors with the Maxim. He wants to pursue them all the way to Kabalega's capital, but flooded swamps and reluctant Baganda allies stop him. Instead, Lugard sets up garrisons in southern Bunyoro. His Nubian fighters loot and plunder with his permission. He writes in his diary, "With Kabalega alone, I don't desire peace. There's nothing I would like better than to turn out the inhuman fiend. The British have made their decision. Kabalega must be destroyed." Colonel Henry Colville assembles an invasion force. 8 British officers, 450 Sudanese troops armed with modern rifles, 20,000 Baganda infantry armed with guns and spears. They marched towards Bunyoro. But first, Colville sends demands. Kabalega must pay tribute to Kabaka Mwanga of Uganda, turning Bunyoro into a vassal state. Kabalega must release all Baganda prisoners from the Battle of Rwangabi. Kabalega must pay 100 ivory tusks as compensation. The historian Shane Doyle notes that these demands seem to have been carefully designed to insult Bunyoro honor. They were never meant to be accepted. They were meant to justify war. Kabalega is willing to offer the ivory. But when Colville demands submission, Kabalega's response becomes legendary. If Colville wants to eat my country, the white man should know that he would only have it when Kabalega is dead. January 1894, the British declare war. 1894 to 1899. 20,000 Baganda warriors, 450 Sudanese troops, and 8 British officers with Maxim guns marching to Bunyoro. The Abarusura has maybe 10,000 fighters available. Some regiments are still on campaigns in other provinces. Kabalega changes tactics. He's seen what the Maxim gun does in open battle. He knows he can't win a conventional war. So he invents a new kind of warfare for East Africa. Guerrilla war. The Abarusura melts into forests and swamps. They attack supply lines. They ambush patrols. They strike and vanish before the British can respond. Kabalega burns his own capital at Mpumudde rather than let the British occupy it. For 6 years, the British hunt Kabalega. For 6 years, they can't catch him. The Abarusura is everywhere and nowhere. The British control the towns, but the countryside belongs to Kabalega. But machine guns and modern rifles take their toll. The Abarusura is dying, not in glorious battle, but slowly. One ambush at a time, one Maxim gun burst at a time. Bunyoro's population in 1891, 2 million people. By 1899, 100,000. The kingdom is being systematically destroyed. April 9th, 1899. After 6 years of resistance, Kabalega is finally cornered. He's with Kabaka Mwanga, who joined him after the British turned on Buganda too. 2 kings, once enemies, now allies against empire. British-led forces surround them. In the firefight, a bullet shatters Kabalega's arm. He's captured. The British amputate his arm in a makeshift military hospital. Even here, Kabalega's pride doesn't break. A British doctor enters the ward. Instead of treating the king first, the doctor goes to another patient, a mere commoner. Kabalega, lying wounded on his cot, summons the strength to kick the doctor in the buttocks. You treat a commoner before the king? His action says. Even defeated, he will not be disrespected. The British exiled Kabalega to Kismayu, then to the Seychelles Islands, 8,000 kilometers from home. 2/3 of Bunyoro's territory is given to Buganda and Toro as a reward for helping the British. Bunyoro's economy is in ruins. What remains of the kingdom is almost completely depopulated. The Abarusura is scattered. Some flee to Congo, others settle along Lake Albert, where they intermarry with local communities and become the Batuku people. Fishermen now, but they remember their warrior past. Kabalega spends 24 years in exile. In 1923, the British finally allow him to return to Uganda. He's 70 years old. one armed, aged by decades in exile, but he's going home. He gets as far as Busoga, just hours from Bunyoro's border. There, Kabalega dies. His last word, Mpumudde, in Runyoro, it means I have rested. After 24 years in exile, after 30 years of resistance, after a lifetime of fighting, Kabalega rests. They bury him at Mparo, his old capital that he burned rather than surrender. Today, if you visit Kampala, you will find streets named after Colonel Colville, streets named after Major Tanan, British officers who destroyed Bunyoro. For over a century, Kabalega's name was barely mentioned in Uganda's official history. The victors wrote the narrative. The colonizers shaped how we remembered the colonial wars. Kabalega was reduced to a footnote, a tyrant who resisted progress. Only in 2009, 110 years after his capture, did Uganda officially declare Omukama Kabalega a national hero. Better late than never. Today, the Batuku people live on Lake Albert's shores. They fish, they tell stories of ancestors who were warriors, the Abarusura, who fought against impossible odds. The Mparo royal tombs still stand. 500 people visit every day to learn about the king who refused to bow. And historians finally tell the truth. The Abarusura was the most formidable indigenous military force in East African history. Kabalega's resistance was the longest, most effective resistance to British colonization in Uganda. Those who could tear an enemy to threads. They faced an empire with a sun that never set, and for 6 years, they made that empire bleed. The Abarusura may be gone, but Uganda remembers.